Very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Respected Dr. Pritam Singh and Dr. Chaturvedi and other distinguished academicians and people from corporate, as well as my panel members. It's a really great honor to moderate this panel, where we have people from various industries and very distinguished members. And also, let me thank Subrato for organizing this event and also inviting a lot of important people in the academy industry. And grateful to Dr. Pritam Singh, who has been mentoring not only many of us, but also many institutions in the country, and which has shown the path that how the institution can be groomed. We have been hearing very important discussions in the last two sessions. And very last sessions, we had a very interesting discussions. We talked about how we learn and how India was different many thousand years back when we talked about guru systems and Gurukula and Arjun and all those characters which we still need to learn a lot. However, now if you really see the way things are changing in today's world, and today's world is changing, and technology is playing a very critical role, and that's why this session is here. If you see today, the best and the largest transport company for the passenger transportation in the world is not from the transport sector, it's from the technology, that is called Uber and Ola. In 2 years' time, they have become number one in passenger and public transport, and its market capitalization today has crossed General Motors. General Motors market capitalization is about $55 billion, which has become 57, Uber. And therefore, you can see that technology is driving the world. Now, if we come to education, and that's the theme of this particular panel. And I don't know how many of you know, the best and the largest school in the world is not from academic, but it's from technology, and that is called Khan Academy. KhanAcademy.com is the largest portal in the world and the best school of the world because they recruit teachers who are graduate from Harvard and MIT and Stanford and UC Berkeley, not less than that. That's what the teachers are. And even in India, most of the toppers of the board's exams take their education from Khan Academy, not from the school necessarily. So these are some of the challenge which we have to understand, that what is the role, and then the theme, like government and also private sectors are creating a lot of B schools in remote cities, small towns, and people are questioning whether these are really right decisions. I would say it's a great decision because you can't just create schools which are only attracting elite from very small percentage of the country, because if you see, even to get admissions in top schools, not even 1% of the best talent are able to get admissions in IIT and IIMs. It means it is easier to get admission in the best school of the best university of the world, like Harvard and MIT, but not possible to get into IIT and IIM because the CAT percentage is much higher. That shows that we need many more institutions with more capacity, even in the smaller town. Now the question is whether we need industry, whether we need good connectivity to provide the educations. Even institutions which are located in the best city like Bangalore or even Gurgaon, I don't know how much industry we really engage with. The only interaction happens at the time of placement. So it is a question of engagement. It's not a question of where are you located. And if technology is playing a role of aggregator, playing the role of integrator, and also playing the role of content creator, so how does it matter where are you located? So long as you have a mobile connections, you can get access to any content of the world, the best content you can do. And now the question is, how do you deliver the content? Now, if your focus is just delivering the content, means you're just teaching and not creating content, as Dr. Pritam Singh delivered in the morning, saying being a Brahmana, you have to create knowledge, you have to create content. Now, creating content, if that is the focus, I don't know how much we are really doing in India. Okay. How much of knowledge we are creating even in the top B schools and top institutions in the country, because we have been trained to provide dissemination of knowledge, diffusion of knowledge, not creation of knowledge. And that is where I think technology can play a vital role, even in creation of knowledge, irrespective of where you're located. Now, when it comes to B school, how do you say that technology will enable creation of knowledge? Now, as I was interacting with some of the professors in top B schools in US, like Deepak Jain, they were saying we don't use case method now in US. He was heading that time in INSEAD. I say, what do you use? He said, we are focusing on experiential learning. Means case is a past practice. How can you teach the future B schools graduates to learn from the past practice alone? Of course, that is important, but you need to also create the present practice or the future practice. So future practice we teach from our research, and present practice we teach from experiential learning. Means we make necessarily that the student will have to create company or create a business, which is state of the art in the industry, so that he or she learns from doing, not only just, so the way he's saying that business school teaching is like a medical profession, it's like a legal profession. Unless you are practicing, it is not possible to communicate what needs to be learned. And as a practice, unless faculty members themselves are engaged in the industry, how will they get experiential learning themselves? So one course we started at MDI, which I am teaching currently, is run two terms, where we have only 40 sessions, but out of these, only 4 sessions we spend in the classroom. Rest all is a project, live project, and industry has to mentor. And these students are given a position called student consultant in the industry. So they go and understand the live burning problem of industry, each students in a group as well as individual, and then they deliberate that with the academics. Now professors get pressure because you have to solve that problem, which is not solved so far by the industry. Now this kind of pressure, when it comes, I think that is where the experiential learning happens, where faculty members as well as students both and industry all together solve the problem which industry is facing, and academics doesn't have solutions for that. So this is how in B schools learning is really happening, and there are various experiments that are happening. Now, in order to discuss and deliberate, we have very, very knowledgeable and people from industry. All of, I think, except one, all are from industry. And I'm sure we'll first listen to their view, and then I think we'll open for any kind of discussions, and then I will also summarize for a minute. So let me start with Mr. Singh, whom I used to interact whenever I go part of my work with IBM. And last time I met was in his office, I hope he remembers, in IBM Bangalore, where IBM invited me for some launch of their cloud services, and they wanted academics, deliberations as a strategy. And that time, I think a lot of people were there from IBM as well as from industry and also media. So I would request him to, give his thought on this particular subject, coming from the technology company.